Hey, it's Terry. I've lost 180 pounds with keto, carnivore, and counting calories. Now I'm doing low carb while I'm in maintenance. Thank you for watching. It's time to make my salads. And instead of paper plates, I'm going to be a grown-up and use my disposable cutting boards. I learned this trick from Lori. You put something wet underneath your stuff, it won't slide around. So a wet towel. I'm just going to use paper towels. So there's that. Okay. So we're going to start. What are we going to start with? We'll start with our peppers. So I'll peel off my stickers. I use peppers throughout the week. I use it in my salads. I use it on the weekends whenever I cook up my breakfasts. I don't wash them off first because I wait until afterwards. So I push this in. You all have seen me do this before. Some of you many times. So see that this is totally disconnected. Then I pry my fingers in and I pull it apart. Now let me go shake this at the sink and I'll show you. I mean at the trash can. But look, there you go. You can just pull out any extra little membrane-y looking things like this right there. Just pull that out. And like I said, I'll wash them off here in a minute. Let's do another one. Push it in until it all separates. If you can maneuver the whole thing, you know it's separated. Then gently pull them apart. I try to do it really slow so it doesn't make a mess. And then all your seeds are stuck to the stem. Last one. Push it in and pull apart. No seeds there. Just a little bit of seeds there. And some seeds are clinging to this little white membrane. So when I pull that out, see? No seeds. So there we go. Now I'm going to wash these off and cut them up into bite-sized pieces, and I'll put them in a container for the week. So there is our peppers. And I will put a paper towel on them, and I will work on these throughout the week, adding them to my salads or adding to them to any foods I might happen to cook. So there we go. There's our peppers. It's funny, the rutabagas at work are getting smaller. This is the rutabaga that they had when I went. When did I go? Friday? And it's definitely a lot smaller than they usually are, and it's the same price. So for those of you who are like, our rutabagas doesn't cost that. Well, mine didn't either, and now it does. So it's definitely changed in price. So I cut off the end, and then I go through and I use this potato peeler. It used to not work this way so easily. What I do is after I buy a rutabaga, I leave it out overnight. So when I bought this yesterday, it's been sitting out on my counter. It's funny, one Walmart has it in the refrigerator section. One Walmart has it in just out on a shelf. So which one is right, I don't know. But what I do know is it definitely peels better when it's been sitting out. So yeah, so I'm going to finish peeling this and I'll get back with you when it's done. I'd say rutabaga's texture is about like a carrot. Oftentimes I like to have some jicama, but my Walmart was out of jicama. So I'm going to cut this in half and then quarter those halves. just so it's not so hard on my blender or my chopper. This chopper was sent to me by Gloria, so I can't tell you where I got it, but or where she got it. She got it on QVC, but there are some similar on Amazon. It does just what it says, it chops. So it gives it just kind of a nice texture. There'll be some big pieces, some little pieces, so it doesn't shred and it doesn't puree, but it definitely chops, so it works out perfect. I'm gonna do this other one and I'll get back with you. Last vegetable that I prep, well, this weekend that I'm prepping, sometimes like I said, I have jicama, but they didn't have it this week, is an onion, and I'm gonna half it. I really don't want to dirty up my big knife, and I don't know, maybe I better cube it. I usually cube it, or quarter it, I guess is the word I should say. Last time I quartered it, and it worked very, very wonderfully. Wonderfully. All right. So Gloria sent this to me because she knows I have issues with onions messing with my eyes. So I try to do as little over here and most of it in there. So I cut off the ends and I peeled off the outer 2 layers. And then I put it in here and let this do the rest of the work for me. I have some red onion and mixed with white onion in here from last time. But I want to get some more because it won't be enough probably for this week. Pretty good. That's about the size pieces that it is. It's like little strips, which is good enough for me. Now I start building my salads. I like 6, and I start off with about 100 grams of cabbage. So I started weighing them as I make them instead of just willy-nilly making them. I just feel like it gives a little bit more control. And then if I felt like for some reason I needed to do something different with the salads, I have the numbers, the amounts of everything listed above me. So, and of course, don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect 100 or perfect whatever, but it's close enough to where I'm happy. But I like making 6 because then it allows me one day on the weekend to eat one of my salads. Sometimes I'm busy on the weekend, so I don't necessarily get to eat a salad on Saturday. So whenever I come home from Mom's, I might want one at supper. So, and these 6 salads, it takes 1.5 of my cabbage bags to make it. In the past, I have bought a head of cabbage and done it that way. So that's definitely a great option. If you don't want to buy these, it's 100%, not 100%, it's absolutely cheaper to buy the cabbage head versus buying this. So what I do is, since I buy my food twice a month, or at least most of my food. Now sometimes I'll make a trip back for like apples or onion because I ran out. But anyway, I use cabbage because I like the crunch, and it stays crunchy all the way until the last day. But I like the texture and I like the flavor of cabbage. So for me, cabbage just works perfect. And like I said, it's about 1.5 bags. So there's my cabbage. Now I'm going to zero it out. And we're going to do 60 grams of onions. I looked at those onions that I had from last week. They were starting to brown and just didn't look good. So I had bought one of those containers of already cut up yellow onions. So I mixed those in here with my red onions because I like that mixture. So I do 60 grams of onions. So now I'm going to get my onions in here. And again, it's not always going to be perfect. It's not going to be an even 60 or an even whatever. You just do what you do. That was 68. So, all right, I'm going to get these last 3 done. So next up, we're going to add our rutabaga. Just like with the onions, that rutabaga, I took a bite and it was really bitter. I don't know, maybe it was just a yucky piece. I don't know, but I went ahead and tossed it. And this is the rutabaga that I just cut up a while ago. It usually does last me 2 weeks, so I'm not really sure what happened here, but it'd be all right. And the rutabaga, I also do 60 grams of rutabaga. The texture of a rutabaga, if you're curious, is like a carrot. I just genuinely like the flavor of rutabaga. I know some people like the flavor of other things, and this is just one of those vegetables that I really, really like. So I'm going to get these last 2 done, and I'll be right back. The last step for my vegetables is putting in a paper towel on the top of them, and then I turn them upside down. You guys taught me that. I do not season them until I'm packing them up for work because, you know, I don't want it to draw out any extra moisture or do anything to it. But I put these paper towels in it, and I choose vegetables that are on the drier side. I could put some tomatoes in there. Sometimes Walmart tomatoes aren't the freshest, so after a week, I don't necessarily want them in my salad. But the things that I put in here, I do trust for 1 week. I would not necessarily trust them for 2 weeks, but I trust these items for 1 week, for 7 days. So that's how I do my salad, and that is a good way for knowing that my calories and carbs are under control because I weighed everything out at once. I used to do it every night, but that took so long, and now I don't have to. So now I get my salads made up in 1 day, and I eat them throughout the week. And through the night before is when I'll add things like, pickled cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, things that are more damp, and the salad dressing. I add all that stuff the night before. So there's my salads.